Alright, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the deviantART podcast, brought to you by Hoffmangler Studios. I am Hoffmangler, otherwise known as Chris Hoffman in the real world.
Not better
Joshua B. SLC, Joshua Butterfield, Jeremy Gates, Steampunk38, Mark Avo, the Mark Avo. What we do on the deviantART podcast is we pick some of our favorite artists, feature their galleries, and oogle all of their amazing artwork. Today, oogling Kutty-Sark's amazing artwork.
Now, oogle may be an ugly word, but this art is not ugly.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic, and I'd like to start there.
That's a good place
Now,
to
why
start.
would Google use the word oogle in the middle
Oogle?
of there? Do you think it's because you're oogling something? I mean,
Oogle the Googles.
which has nothing to do with Kutty-Sark, which is why we're here today.
Let us begin.
Let us begin. So we've, of course, picked out a couple of our favorites, and we'll walk through. I picked out this first one, and I think it's Swellsville. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe.
One job, man.
I have one job.
You push on a button.
Click the button.
Pushing the
The
button.
button.
It's a lot of buttons.
There's a lot
It's
of
a
buttons
mouse.
on this
There's
thing.
two mice. There's two buttons.
There's
And
three
a
if
red
you
one he
count
wants
it.
to make sure he avoids.
That's
Okay,
true.
Good call. So,
Never push the red button.
the shiny, delicious,
Candy-like button.
candy-like red button. So, like this one because, first of all, we didn't talk about it yet, but Kutty-Sark deals a lot of with watercolor.
Watercolors.
Thank you.
Watercolor is a very difficult medium. Very difficult to get detailed. Very difficult to make look right. To layer, and she's done all of that beautifully.
Yeah, I've gone into the forays of watercolor every once in a while, and it never acts like you think it's going to. You start throwing some paint onto there, and so actually seeing someone taming that art
Wild
form,
beast.
yeah, it's
Without just
it's
pools of muck.
Mm-hmm.
I always get a piece of paper that's completely saturated to the point where you pick it up and
Yeah.
it bows like this. And
Yep.
that didn't work.
I really like, on this one, I really like the background, how they're intertwined. Even though she has said that this is 3 separate commissions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Put together, it makes one complete piece of art, and the backgrounds are intertwined, the way the branches flow over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really cool effect. Hopefully the 3 people who own these pieces can unite.
Form a Voltron of awesomeness.
Well, the other cool thing about this is obviously it has like anime overtones with the like curved chins, the sort of bigger eyes, and the fluffy hair and whatnot. But it also has a very European, Russian influence to it as well, with the color palettes and, like you were saying, with the backgrounds
Right.
that look sort of
the
like
roses.
tapestry types.
Right.
I like how she's captured emotion, which once again we're dealing in watercolor, which is very difficult. But she's able to capture emotion on each of the characters.
Right. And have we mentioned yet that our good friend Kutty-Sark is in the Ukraine?
No.
So we seem to be drawn to that region of the world. We've covered a lot of artists in that neck of the woods, but again, this is a person who is kind of right in the middle of some very significant real life
Turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we'd like to say that our thoughts go out to you. Hopefully that all ends and is resolved quickly.
And safely.
And very safely. But that has nothing to do with you as an artist, but just as a person, which we also like people. So there you go.
But given the fact that we also got a bunch of answers.
Yeah. We actually sent her our little questionnaire, and she did a great job of filling that out for us. Oh, this particular piece, she also did a progression picture, so you can kind of, or progression drawing. So you can see that it goes from the sketch to the first layer to the second layer, and
A very nice sort of an inner look at the process behind how clean she is able to get all of those hard lines with watercolor brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it almost looks as if it should have some very hard, dark pop art lines, but they aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So
They just aren't there.
if you're an artist who wants to delve into the watercolors, you might be able to glean some insight here. And it's important to also note this is a commission.
Oh yeah.
So this is what you get when you contact Kutty-Sark and get a commission. So definitely well worth the time. You get what you pay for here.
Yep.
So
Clearly.
So we have the next one here. This one, I believe Mark saw this one.
Yeah, who doesn't like Adventure Time? Seriously.
Yeah, communists. Oh, we're talking about Russia.
oh, we're not talking about Russians.
I'm just kidding.
I liked the...
Capitalists.
Capitalists. Boo!
Who doesn't
Down
like
with
it?
capitalists.
Yeah, we just...
Sorry, took you off your game there.
I loved the richness of color in this piece. First of all, who doesn't like fan art? And who doesn't like terrific fan art? But what draws you into terrific fan art is what makes it different. And the bright tapestry of colors that the watercolor is able to bring out in the background really plays to the richness of this character.
What I was going to mention here is, if you notice, there's like this little... Oh, can't bring the mouse over because it brings up the preview. But on the third tombstone to the right, the little 2-dot smile, that's just emblematic of like... I mean, it looks kind of like Finn.
Yeah, and it's everything fun about the series.
Yeah.
Plus, I dig bats.
And
Bats are all
Rockstar.
flying around. I mean,
Mhm.
somewhere someone's getting their blood sucked. You don't see it on screen, but I can envision that this transitions nicely into a blood sucking.
Well, and same thing with this, as we talked about on her other art. Watercolor is a very difficult medium, and for her to be able to pull out this kind of detail and show this level of artistic ability with watercolor is very impressive.
Well, in one of her answers in her questions, she was talking about how she did fashion art.
Oh, that's right.
Where she started, like, if you look at those, I don't know if you guys remember this, there was I certainly don't remember playing with anything like this in the 80s, but they had
Toy
that
dolls.
thing, not toy dolls, but the actual, like, in the 80s, like when Easy Bake Oven and stuff like that was out, they had that thing where you could, like, change out the dresses and the top, and then you put a piece of paper down, you could rub.
Oh,
it
yeah,
gave
yeah,
you the
yeah.
outline of it. But the way you finished that was with watercolor. I mean, traditionally for fashion art, watercolor was the way you went. That's how because it had like this sort of dreamy, ethereal look to it. That was
that's really
like
interesting.
sort of what's that show with the
Bewitched.
Mad Men?
Bewitched.
No, like Mad Men style, like.
Bewitched.
Hydra Genie, Samuel L. Jackson. What are you talking about? But yeah, that's all that sort of stuff is all watercolor. So it's really cool that she's taken that base of that art form and then put it into all these neat art pieces that she does.
Right. And I think it's really interesting in her answers from her questionnaire that she sent back to us. What are you doing, man? It's like
My one job.
one job. But every time, that's because you never let me touch the mouse.
That's true.
But in her questions or in her answers, she mentioned some of her her influences. Let's click over to one of her influences. There's some really cool stuff out here. And by the way, yeah, there you go. That's amazing. Vladislav Erko.
Oh, well done with the pronunciation.
Thank you.
If it was right, I have no idea. It sounded good.
Here's hoping it's right, but some really fantastic influence, and you can see that again. It's always nice to see someone who doesn't copy another style, but they're influenced by them,
Inspired,
exactly.
Inspired by it.
This is a good example of that, and let's just I mean we didn't get permission from Vladislav here.
That's okay.
But very cool stuff here, and a lot of those elements are captured, and the feeling is captured in the new one.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's good stuff. We like it. Now, didn't Kutty-Sark also do some work for that Renaissance? Oh, Idara, a steampunk Renaissance.
Oh, yeah.
So, another project that this artist embarked on was doing work for this Idara game, in which it's a steampunk Renaissance RPG, and it's a serialized pen and paper RPG. And we're not really here to plug the RPG, but we wanted to mention that she did some fantastic work. Scroll down a little bit. There's a really cool dwarf here. Check out that guy. I mean, who doesn't dig a dwarf in like some thick, heavy armor with the world's biggest gun?
Steampunk. That's right.
That's
Not that I'm sure. I don't know if she did this picture or not.
That reminds me of some of the...
It's a cool picture.
It looks like it.
I'm sure she did that one.
Hero clip.
Oh, I'm gonna feel like an ass.
If she's had nothing to do with the picture.
Mage Knight.
I think there's some art here that looked...
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm
maybe?
not 100% sure if this one's hers.
So
either.
we have no idea which of these things.
I don't know why you went down that road.
Okay, well,
She was part of it. We're
She
assuming
did some of
did
this
the
artwork. I think she did this picture.
Well, and it's serialized, so
That you
I'm
can
sure
see
she's going
in
to
here.
continue to work on it as the story progresses for the RPG.
So more than anything, just
Right.
a beautiful example of how versatile she
don't
is.
listen to anything. I'm having a really off night.
Sounds like an interesting idea, and this is one of those ideas. This is one way to get a lot out of your DeviantArt account is finding other people who are doing neat projects like this, and can leverage something that you do, and leverages something that they're good at, and work on the collaboration together.
Absolutely.
Which is, it's exactly, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have a DeviantArt account, is to be able to do commission work and work on things like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a perfect example of how to use your DeviantArt account properly.
She's actually, Kutty-Sark was talking about the way she gets the most out of her DeviantArt account altogether, is to make sure that that you're not shy about your work. I mean, it's easy to say when you're amazing, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But she was there before at the beginning, like we all were when we were starting out with our sketches and or having nothing in our gallery. Maybe what the encouragement for Josh here is put yourself out there, you know.
I do
Start
have some.
putting-
I do have some poems I'm gonna put up there, and people can tear them apart. I did them in high school. I haven't really done anything new, but
Those are the best.
yeah, she's got a great point. You're never going to improve if you don't put yourself out there and see your own evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty cool to see the growth of that. In fact, we've highlighted that in the past.
Show the kids the gallery. Scroll through it real quick behind us.
You're going to go to the fabulous gallery here. Which,
And then just-
right away, the first thing pops out is a nice Cora.
Yep.
And it's a commission piece. So
Yep.
once again,
Her front page says the commissions are closed, but give her an email. That stuff goes, and depending on when you're watching this, be sure to send her a message if you're interested. We didn't really get a chance to look through a lot of these, but these adorable chibis are great.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So much
so
detail.
Dress and-
So cute, and then so much fun with these like Halloweeny. Copyright Hoffmangler Studios LLC.
Yeah. Look at how many commissions.
We have some cosplay. Yeah, commissions galore.
And
So
they're
once again,
really, really
even
good.
if she's not doing them right now, obviously she does them quite often. So check
Yeah,
that.
get in line.
A lot of it's exactly what it is. A lot of popular artists get so much work they don't want to give you a bad experience by waiting forever to see
Oh,
your
I
piece
dig
of
that
work.
one.
So
I think that's a way better. That's even just good advice. If you do commissions, just be communicative with people and say, hey, there's a line right now, but I do want to get in touch, and then do a good job making sure that you keep that list somewhere so you know where these people are and when you can get back to them.
yeah.
I think we're about out of time, but this has been a wonderful.
No, I want to spend more time on this. No, you're right, Jeremy.
Beautiful art.
See, here we go. Here's the artwork.
There we go.
Yeah,
See,
that's.
it is this art. Here we go.
And is there a dwarf? Please say there's a dwarf. Please say there's a dwarf.
There might be a dwarf, but
Chibis
no.
are
Oh,
dwarf,
I
right?
am going to be such an embarrassed.
There's another 5 pages. You know what? If you find the dwarf, go ahead and email me at Hoffmangler DA account, and we'll make Josh feel great or terrible, depending on what happened here.
That's
Probably-
foot in my mouth. Hoffmangler.
Both
So
feet in
thanks
my mouth.
everybody for watching the show. Once again, if you want to have your gallery featured on the podcast, go ahead and get us either a note on DeviantArt or go to deviantartpodcast.com and send a message through the form. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Say goodnight, Josh.
Good night, Josh.